What if I told you that confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build? Brick by brick, choice by choice, moment by moment. And the only thing standing between who you are and who you want to become is the decision to rise. Let's break it down into 6 truths that will transform the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you live. What if I told you that confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build, brick by brick, choice by choice, moment by moment. And the only thing standing between who you are and who you want to become is the decision to rise. You see, the first step to building confidence is not about faking a smile or pretending to be fearless or standing tall in front of a mirror. No, the first step is far deeper. It begins with owning your story, every single piece of it. Because here's the truth. How can you stand confidently in the world if you're still hiding from yourself? Too many of us spend years running from our past, as if the pain we've been through, the mistakes we've made, or the scars we carry are stains we need to erase. But your past is not a prison. It's proof. Proof that you've survived things that could have broken you. Proof that you've overcome nights that felt endless, choices that felt impossible, storms that felt unbearable. That proof is power, and confidence begins the moment you stop rejecting your story and start embracing it. Think about it. Every failure you've ever had, every heartbreak, every rejection, every time you've been told, "You're not enough." Those are not weaknesses. They are weapons. They've shaped your resilience, sharpened your strength, and carved out the character that makes you uniquely you. Hiding them doesn't protect you. It limits you. When you shrink from your own story, you teach the world to treat you as small. But when you own it, loudly, unapologetically, you teach the world that you are bigger than anything you've been through. Here's the shift: confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from authenticity. People don't connect with flawless, they connect with real. The cracks in your story are not to be covered. They are where the light comes through. When you walk into a room knowing your story, claiming it, carrying it like a crown, instead of a burden, people feel it. They don't see someone trying to prove themselves. They see someone who already knows who they are, and that is magnetic. So, stop editing yourself to fit into someone else's version of worthiness. Stop apologizing for your accent, your upbringing, your struggles, your scars. Stop wishing your journey looked like someone else's. It doesn't have to. It was never meant to. Your power lies in the exact twists and turns that brought you here. Your power is in the survival, the lessons, the grit, the fire that only you have walked through. Own it, claim it, speak it. Because until you do, you will always be chasing confidence instead of embodying it. Confidence begins the day you stop hiding and declare, without fear, without apology, "This is my story. This is who I am." And that is more than enough. Confidence is not built in the spotlight. It's built in the silence of your own mind. The way you speak to yourself when no one else is watching. That is the foundation of your power. Because here's the reality. The world is already filled with critics, waiting to tear you down. The question is, will you join them? Or will you be the one voice that speaks life into yourself? If your inner dialogue is poisoned with doubt, then no amount of applause from the outside will ever feel like enough. But when your self-talk becomes your strongest ally, confidence stops being fragile. It becomes unshakable. Think about the words you whisper to yourself every day. I'm not smart enough. I'm not attractive enough. I'll never make it. I don't belong here. You might not even say them out loud, but you feel their weight every time you step into a room. Those words create invisible chains that tie you to the ground. And here's the thing, the human mind believes what it hears most often. If all you feed it is negativity, that negativity becomes your truth. Confidence can never live in a mind that is constantly tearing itself apart. Now imagine changing the script. Imagine replacing "I can't" with "I will." Imagine swapping "I'm not enough" for "I'm just getting started." The shift may sound small, but it changes everything. Because words don't just describe your reality, they create it. When you declare something to yourself with conviction, your brain begins to find ways to make it real. Your language becomes your compass, steering you toward the life you are worthy of living. And the more you practice it, the more it rewires your mind to trust in your own potential. This is not about blind positivity or pretending life is perfect. It's about training your inner voice to become a source of strength instead of sabotage. Yes, you'll still hear fear. Yes, doubt will still creep in. But when your dominant self-talk says, "I am capable, I am ready, I am strong," then fear doesn't control you anymore. It fuels you. You begin to rise, not because the world suddenly got easier, but because you finally believe you can handle it. That belief, that inner conviction, is what the world recognizes as confidence. Let me tell you something important. The way you speak to yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. If you constantly belittle yourself, you teach the world that it's okay to do the same. If you doubt yourself publicly, you invite others to doubt you too. But when your self-talk is powerful, when you walk into a room radiating the energy of someone who respects and believes in themselves, you don't need to announce your worth. People feel it. They respond to it. They align with it. Confidence begins within and spills outward until it becomes undeniable. So guard your words. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you love. Be deliberate. Be bold. Be fierce in protecting your inner dialogue. Every time you catch yourself tearing yourself down, stop and rebuild that sentence into something stronger. This practice is not optional. It is survival, because you can't wait for the world to affirm you. You must affirm yourself daily, relentlessly, unapologetically. And when you do, you'll realize that the voice in your head, the one that once held you back, has now become the loudest, most powerful force pushing you forward. Confidence is born the moment you decide that your inner voice will no longer be your enemy, but your greatest source of strength. And from that moment on, every word you speak to yourself will either chain you or set you free. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not walking into a room and thinking you are better than everyone else. Confidence is alignment. Your mind, body, and spirit working together to declare, I belong here. The way you carry yourself is not decoration, it is declaration. Long before you speak a word, your posture, your presence, and your energy announce who you are. And here's the truth. If you don't stand in your power, the world will never hand it to you. Think about the last time you walked into a space and immediately shrank. Shoulders slouched, eyes down, voice soft. You told yourself, I don't want to draw attention. But what you were really saying is, I don't believe I deserve attention. That moment of shrinking is not just physical, it's psychological. Your body sends signals to your brain, and your brain starts believing the lie that you are smaller, weaker, less deserving than everyone around you. This is why standing in your power is not optional. It's necessary. Because the way you show up physically programs the way you feel internally. Now picture the opposite. Shoulders back, chin lifted, feet planted firmly on the ground. Your eyes steady, your breath controlled. You haven't said a single word, yet the room feels your presence. This is not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about reminding yourself of who you are. Power is a posture. When you hold yourself with strength, your brain responds by releasing chemicals that reinforce confidence. You're not just faking it. You're training yourself to embody it. And over time, that embodiment becomes your reality. Here's the part most people miss. Standing in your power is not about being loud. It's about being rooted. Power is not always the person shouting the longest. It's the person who doesn't need to shout at all, because their presence already commands attention. When you know your worth, you don't chase validation. You attract respect. You stop begging for permission and start moving with authority. And that authority doesn't come from ego. It comes from the unshakable knowledge that you are enough, exactly as you are. Of course, fear will still show up. You'll still walk into rooms where you feel outnumbered, overlooked, underestimated. But here's the secret: power is not the absence of fear. Power is the decision to stand tall in spite of it. Every time you choose to hold your ground instead of shrinking, every time you choose to speak instead of staying silent, every time you choose to remain visible instead of disappearing, you are building a new identity. One that no one can take from you. One that radiates without you having to prove a thing. So the next time you step into a room, remember this: your power does not come from the approval of others. It comes from the way you decide to show up. Let your body declare your worth before your words ever do. Let your presence remind the world and yourself that you are not here to blend in. You are here to be seen, to be heard, to be felt. And the moment you stand in that truth, the moment you embody that power, no one, not doubt, not fear, not criticism, can diminish you. Confidence is ignited the instant you choose to stand in your power. Because when you do, you stop asking the world for permission to exist, and you start showing the world why you were born to lead. Confidence is not magic. It doesn't appear in a moment of luck, and it doesn't fall from the sky like a gift. Real confidence is earned. It's built in the hours nobody sees, in the work you put in when no one is clapping, in the relentless preparation that sharpens you into someone unshakable. Because When you prepare, you don't walk into a room hoping you belong. You walk in knowing you do. Too often, people confuse confidence with charisma. They think it's about charm, quick wit, or natural talent. But talent without preparation is fragile. Charisma without substance is temporary. What truly anchors confidence is the quiet certainty that you have done the work. That certainty cannot be faked. You cannot stand tall on empty ground. Preparation is the foundation that allows you to carry yourself with undeniable authority. Think about the athletes who dominate their fields. They don't just show up on game day and hope for the best. They've practiced the shot 1,000 times, studied the playbook until it's burned into their memory, trained their body to respond on instinct. By the time they step onto the court, the field, or the track, they're not performing by chance. They're performing by design. That is what preparation gives you: the ability to execute under pressure, to stand steady when others collapse. And this isn't just about sports. It's about life. You want to own that job interview. Prepare until you know your story better than anyone else. You want to deliver a powerful speech. Practice until your message flows like a second heartbeat. You want to feel confident walking into any room. Then study, learn, rehearse, and refine until doubt has no space to breathe. Confidence is not the absence of nerves. It's the ability to rise above them because you are ready. Preparation also builds resilience. Because here's the truth: not everything will go according to plan. You will face setbacks, interruptions, and unexpected challenges. But preparation gives you the ability to pivot. It equips you with knowledge, skills, and composure that allow you to adjust without falling apart. When you are prepared, mistakes don't destroy you. They fuel you. They become proof that you can adapt, endure, and still win. And that knowledge, that deep inner trust in yourself, radiates outward as confidence. So stop waiting for confidence to show up before you begin. Prepare relentlessly, and confidence will follow. Prepare beyond what is expected. Prepare until excellence feels natural. Prepare until you no longer have to prove yourself, because your work already has. Then, when the spotlight hits you, you won't hesitate, you won't shrink, you won't doubt. You'll rise, steady and certain, because you know exactly why you deserve to be there. Confidence is not a performance you put on. It is the byproduct of relentless preparation, and once you've done the work, no fear, no failure, and no one can take that confidence away from you. Confidence is not built by thinking about who you want to be. It's built by acting, even when you're not ready. The truth is, you can read every book, watch every video, rehearse every word in your head. But until you step forward and take action, nothing changes. Confidence doesn't come from theory, it comes from movement. And movement requires courage, not perfection. Too many people wait for the right time. They wait until they feel fully prepared, until they have more experience, until fear goes away. But fear never truly disappears. It only loses its power when you act in spite of it. Every bold action is a declaration to yourself. I may not know everything, but I trust myself enough to move. That act of trust rewires your mind. It shifts you from hesitation to momentum, from doubt to belief. Think of every great leader, every innovator, every trailblazer. None of them began fully confident. They began terrified, unqualified, and uncertain. But they acted. They said yes to opportunities they weren't ready for. They spoke up when their voice shook. They walked into rooms where they felt out of place. And with every action, they grew.